Arsenal player ratings versus PSG as Bukayo Saka, error costly, and Thomas Partey tactic falls blunt. Arsenal were given a sucker punch against PSG after a slew of missed opportunities from Declan Rice, Gabriel Martinelli, and Martin Odegaard. Fabian Ruiz scored a volley from a cheaply given away free kick that could only be cleared to the edge of the box where the Spaniard was waiting. David Raya's penalty save could only lift the mood for a matter of minutes, as a comedy of errors from Jakub Kiwior and Thomas Partey would gift Achraf Hakimi the chance to score the second of the evening. Arsenal responded quickly by taking advantage of a loose ball in the box, with Bukayo Saka netting from close range. However, he would then miss the chance for a swift second, smashing a strike on an open goal over the bar. Rated the performances of the Arsenal players as they were knocked out of the Champions League at the semi-final stage. David Raya, very little the Spaniard could do about the Ruiz strike. It took a slight deflection off Saliba on the way through, which sadly took it away from him. He did make a good stop from Bradley Barcola, with help from a sliding Declan Rice. The penalty save was a show that Raya can indeed not dive early, pushing the ball round the post. 7. Jurriën Timber, playing much higher up in an attempt to pin the PSG fullbacks. Timber was displaying some of his best football at both ends of the field. 8. William Saliba was lucky to not cost Arsenal a goal in the first half. A loose pass across the back line intercepted, and fortunately, Desire Doué's effort was tame. Overall, he had a decent game, but missed his dream partner, Gabriel Magalhaes. 6. Jakub Kiwior. Despite a decent first-half display, Jakub Kiwior made a critical error, a loose pass which turned over and led to the second goal. 6. Miles Lewis-Skelly, caught making a couple of mistakes in the first half. Loose passes and holding onto the ball for too long put the Gunners under unnecessary pressure. Giving away a penalty, not necessarily his fault, but it summed up his game, which was a nightmarish night with many mistakes. 5. Thomas Partey. The Ghanaian returned and deployed a long throw technique not seen for some time, causing all sorts of problems early on. His presence was so obviously beneficial and made his absence in the first leg so much more irritating. However, he was caught being too lackadaisical in the box, giving the chance for Hakimi to strike and find the corner. 7. Declan Rice had a big chance early in the first few minutes, heading a Jurriën Timber cross just wide. His loose touch and subsequent foul gave away the free kick which led to the opening goal. He was as usual tenacious and full of running, but couldn't find the difference on this occasion. 7. Martin Odegaard, strike from outside the box from the skipper first time in the opening minutes, was pushed excellently round the post. He had moments in the game where he looked much sharper but still found himself lacking urgency and creativity in the key moments. 7. Bukayo Saka. In the first half, Bukayo Saka went through periods where he just looked lacking in that final edge. Even when Nuno Mendes suffered a booking, there was a real want for the winger to be more aggressive and test the Portuguese. In the second half, he found the space to produce an excellent effort that had to be tipped round the post. He would find the net after a ball squirmed through to him, following some hard work by Leandro Trossard. He would then, however, sky a massive chance which could have changed everything. 7. Gabriel Martinelli. Like Rice, he too had an early chance to score, which at close range was saved by Donnarumma. Sadly, the rest of the game he found himself isolated and lacking much threat as the PSG team boxed him out of the game. 5. Mikel Merino. So much better for the Arsenal system to have a target man in the fold, and there to knock down the long balls and be a threat in the box. The chance in the first half saw Saka fire a low-driven ball in that the Spaniard could not direct toward goal. Arsenal need a striker. Merino has done a decent job, but in these moments the gap is obvious. 6. Leandro Trossard made an immediate impact by winning the ball off Marquinhos before finding the cross, which Bukayo Saka gladfully took. 7. Riccardo Calafiori. The Italian too would have a hand in the creation of a major chance minutes after coming on, finding the perfect ball into the middle only to watch Saka fire over the bar. 7. Ben White came on and had little to no impact on the game. In an error. Mikel Arteta's shocking decision cost Arsenal Champions League elimination versus PSG. Mikel Arteta, and Arsenal's main issue that has plagued them all season, struck again on the biggest night of their season as they were eliminated from the Champions League semi-final by PSG. Arsenal headed to Paris knowing they needed to win to reach the Champions League final and set up a date with destiny against Inter Milan in Munich. But that dream was shattered as the Parisians finally had their Champions League moment in front of their own fans after years of near misses, winning 2-1 on the night and 3-1 on aggregate. Arteta's side would have considered themselves fortunate. They were heading to the Parc des Princes only 1 goal down, despite having chances of their own in the first leg. At the Emirates, PSG could have put themselves out of sight with a catalog of missed chances, but tonight it was the Gunners asking all of the early questions. An early chance for Declan Rice went begging as he headed wide from 6 yards out, before Gianluigi Donnarumma was forced into his first magnificent save to deny Martin Odegaard's well-struck shot from 20 yards out, nestling in the bottom corner. But the game soon changed as Arsenal were made to pay for not finding the opening goal in the early stages of the game. First, Kavicha Kvaratskhelia smashed the post with a whipped effort from 25 yards before Rice made an incredible goal-saving block to take the sting out of Bradley Barcola's effort. Eventually, Arsenal's luck ran out as Fabian Ruiz scored a stunning goal, striking the ball past David Raya from the edge of the box. A bitter blow for the Gunners, made worse by replays showing the shot taking a significant deflection off William Saliba. A chaotic 10 minutes towards the end of the second half turned the game. David Raya kept out Vitinha's woeful penalty to keep Arsenal interested, but that hope looked to be extinguished as Achraf Hakimi fired the hosts 2-0 ahead on the night, 3-0 on aggregate. Bukayo Saka reignited Arsenal's hopes as he scored just 4 minutes later to give them a lifeline, but his open goal missed moments later virtually ended those comeback hopes dead. The Gunners had chances, plenty of them, 19 shots in total, but woeful finishing has cost them. Rice's early header and a late chance for Mikel Merino came in a position that a born goal scorer would appear and usually find the back of the net.